You heard what Clark Kent said about Tupac?
Yep, I saw it.
For the people that didn't hear it, Blake, play that video.
Biggie's dead because Pac lied. You know what I'm saying? If he doesn't lie, we don't have an East Coast, West Coast beef. We don't have, like, he's dead because he lied.
Give me the lie.
He said that Biggie set him up. You know Biggie didn't set you up. You know he didn't set you up. You know that he didn't know you was coming to the studio. You know that. Why would you say that? You know, you're 1,000% sure. Why would you say that? That is the reason why they took our mans from us. Because one lie.
Do you think it was a lie or a misunderstanding?
No, it was a lie. And he knew that. He knew it had nothing to do with Biggie, 1,000%.
Then why do you think he said that?
Because he didn't want to say what really happened. How about that?
What you think about them comments?
I mean, Clark Kent, right? He right. He right. He right in certain things. I mean, Pocket angered people he was around at that time. And I think Pocket got himself emotionally involved and attached with things that he shouldn't have really messed with. You know what I mean? So I can kind of see what, OG saying, like, man, you know that shit had something to do with you and somebody else and some other folk. I mean, that man, you only would have came to the studio, with your pistols and everything on you, unless you thought the people you were going to see, if it was any beef, you had to protect yourself, right? So you wasn't going to the studio with Big them. They just happened to be in the studio, in another studio at the time you came, which was, during the times that we were recording back then, right there after 5, 6 o'clock, everybody head to the studio, get the recording around 10, 11, after everybody just get settled in. So, me being that I've been to the studio and understand how you got in, got out, where he got hit at, you know what I mean? Like, Big really didn't have nothing to do with that. You know what I mean? And then if you kind of listen to Lil C's and a lot of his older interviews, like, he kind of caught Pac them walking up the street and he was speaking to them from up top, out of the building. So, if it was any beef between them and them per se, I think C's would have had enough, understanding to know it was beef and to let them niggas know that there's something going on, you know what I mean? But it wasn't for them because you were coming to see Lil Sean them. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's the people that Pac was hanging around, and it's everything that was going on at the time. It was just being magnified where he felt like he had to have a pistol anyway because of the people he was fucking with and the things, that was going on around him. So, I just think that that is where I think if somebody would have just, yo, man, call over there, make sure Pac know we ain't got shit to do with that. But he can't, because they know that they got a real OG that's in the middle of this, that knows everybody, and they can't they can't really get involved because that ain't their business. So it's like, it's a sticky situation because it's street shit. That shit go past rapping and song and dance, you know what I mean? Go past that. So that's the place where I'm gonna say, I wish that they had just spoken. I think that shit would have stopped a lot of that. It would have stopped that after that. If some kind of way he could have got the Big, or Pac could have got the to Big, I just think that if he would have just at least had the conversation, like, my nigga, that ain't you, is it? Nah, that ain't me, my nigga. I mean, we ain't had nothing to do with that. We just kicking the Willy Bowo. I think he would have took it like, oh, okay, cool. I know what my target is. But I think along with the shit going on between Puff and Suge, I just think it was, bro, that shit was agitated that way. You know what I mean? It was agitated that way to make it be a problem between two guys that was becoming the shit. And this was a way for everybody to get paid, the magazines to get in here, start writing wild ass stories, because at the end of the day, when you really look at it, you gotta really put it on the motherfucking magazines that start just putting gas on all that shit. When Pac couldn't talk and was in jail, it's still stories being wrote, it's still this, and once the shit happened, it's still stories and people throwing gas on it. So I'm just saying that once the higher ups felt like this was a money play, they kept the gas on it. And at the end of the day, you know it was fucked up, because at the end of the day, what was the casualty of it all? Vibe magazine. I mean, you know what I mean?
But I think one thing that people get confused, man, is Pac saying that Biggie set him up. He never said that.
The song dropping. Who shot you?
Yeah, that too.
That's what put the whole shit on it. Like it was almost like, okay, did they have something to do with it? They didn't have something to do with it. Then all of a sudden in the middle of the night, no Biggie Smalls, who shot you? And it's like, well, shit. The streets like, well, shit, I guess so, man. Like, it might be some shit in there. Shit getting gangster.
And Puffy, he decided to drop that.
Come on, bro. So, like, you didn't run away from it. You didn't go anywhere else. You went right there with it. Now, whether you thought it was just gonna stay some MCs battling on records, it didn't stay there. That shit went to death for both parties. So think about it. As much as some people can say, hey man, it's your fault, other people can say, well, shit, it's y'all fault a little bit too, because if you ain't had nothing to do with it, why you dropped that record? It seemed like you wanted to eat off that shit a little bit. You wanted to eat off of it a little bit, and that shit became all your problem. So that's all I'm saying. I'm saying, let's be honest. Like let's be honest about the shit, bro. Like, it was hip hop at the time. Everybody was on their grimy shit, and shit. Shawty was shot up in the hospital. I mean, shit. You know what I mean? We know the streets. We know the streets. Just like if somebody get hit in Atlanta, we can make a call. We know who did it, who got hit. Man, possibly everybody in New York knew who did that shit. They been knew who did. So that's the real shit. Knowing that y'all knew who did it. Everybody can actually say who did it. But then again, if Pac calling around saying, yo, who did that, I ain't getting no answer. Okay, then you did it.
Bingo, bingo, bingo. I was just about to say that, because that's where people get confused. Tupac never said that Biggie set him up. His only issue with Biggie was why you didn't warn him or tell him who did it.
It wasn't nothing to warn. It wasn't nothing for Big to warn, because Big ain't had nothing but you getting your ass in these situations with these other people. You know these people you fuck with, them true and living gangsters over there, man. We know them guys. Just like I know them guys. Them niggas.
But he wanted Biggie to tell him who did it, though.
Yeah, but hey, man. Hey, that's just like, hey, man. Man got hit next to me. Hey, Gipp, who did that, bruh? Like, unless it's some reason why I should tell you this, I ain't got nothing to do with that, because maybe that man that did something that got him in this situation. But then once I inject myself in who I saw and what pistol they had, man, you just as much in it. Was you in it, or was you on their side? Did you help set it up, or you ain't trying to get no information up on who you saw and what you heard? So you still got to look that a lot of things were crazy that night. You still got pistols all over the place. You know what I mean? A lot of people scared, the police showing up. You know what I mean? But the entertainment part of it. Now, if you ain't want to be a part of it, you ain't want to be in it in no kind of way, I don't think who shot you would have been the greatest picker I would have picked from it to get. But I think everybody wanted to get a little involved in the situation and put a little more mystique on their names. And the record did do exactly what it was supposed to do. It woke the streets up. it put a mystique on Big, it put a mystique on Bad Boy, and it made shit a little more gangster. I mean, it is what it is. You can say, hey man, Big here called Pot Live. Hey man, that go both ways. Cause at the same time, you ain't had to play that record. You ain't had to go that route. You could have went another route. But since we know that at that time in the roaring 90s, it was all about who got the biggest crew, who got the strongest crew, and who got the best music. Come on, man. That woke New York. Then they should say, well, shit, why did that record get played so many times a day on the radio in New York City if it wasn't that shit then? If that wasn't where we were going, if that's what we wasn't trying to, if that's what we weren't trying to be affiliated with, we affiliated ourselves all with that shit once we came like that. Cause down in the South, I'm sure in the West, when you came with Who Shot You, that shit was some gangster shit. That was New York gangster. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. It's like how you look at it. Cause I'm sure if you sit on the West Coast, you're like, oh, Pac gotta respond, baby. He gotta respond. And if you really look at it, bro, just go and listen to Me Against the World. That whole album was about that shit. So you gotta look that, to me personally, it cooled off and all that. Once he went to jail, it was just y'all and his Me Against the World album. But when he came back home, man, like, he settled the score. So I don't know. You know what I mean? I look at both parties like, man, somebody should have said, everybody chill. Let's call this man, have a conversation, at least have a one-on-one conversation before this shit go any further. And I don't think nobody did that. I know that nobody do that. Everybody was gloating in the attention they were getting from the things they was doing to antagonize the situation. So what did you get at the end of the situation? Both men did.